So, hello, how are you today? It's Mary Bicknell. Today, what we're going to talk about is how owning your wisdom actually leads to your wealth. I'm going to be sharing this over to my personal page. So, wherever you're watching this, it's nice to see you. Glad that you're here. Um, Here's the deal. Working with brilliant women, what I've noticed lately is that, not lately, probably the entire time that I've been doing any work, is that frequently women minimize their wisdom. They minimize their abilities, they minimize their brilliance. And so today, how owning your wisdom creates wealth is really the topic. And so frequently, when women, so there's going to be three things that we really focus on today. Number one is, what is it that you're doing, and how do you become aware of when you do not do not embrace your wealth or your wisdom, excuse me. So, where do you not embrace your wisdom? What does that look like for you? What does it look like for a woman to actually fail to fully show up? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to be really focused on, and if you're here, wherever you're watching, YouTube, all across Facebook, whether you're on LinkedIn or wherever you're watching, I'd love for you to say hello. I really want to see you and I want to hear what you have to say today. I want you to be part of this conversation. I guess wherever you are right now, I want you to say, yes, do you believe that frequently women minimize their knowledge base? Do you think that women minimize their knowledge base? In other words, do you believe that frequently women poo poo? I like to call it like poo pooing. So, when we poo poo our knowledge base and our wisdom, this is one of the three things that we're going to be talking about today. When we poo poo or minimize our wisdom, several things happen. Hi, thank you for saying, hey, it's nice to see you. Several things happen. Number one is, well, first of all, if we want to create wealth, we're not going to be showing up in a way that is demonstrative of saying, I know what the hell I'm talking about. I can help you. And this is the value of the service I'm offering. And here it is. If we don't value our own wisdom, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, we're not showing up with that posture. We're not showing up with that level of confidence. And number two, we sure as hell are not going to charge a lot. We sure are not going to be in a place of charging at the level that not only we deserve, but our clients deserve. Take a breath with that for a second. Because I know when I talk about wealth and money and leadership and impact and a mission, frequently what happens is not only do you poo-poo yourself, but you fail to recognize this. I'm going to say it again. You fail to recognize this. This is number two. You fail to recognize your desire, the thing that you say that you want to help the world. When you fail to recognize that you are showing up in a less than energy, in a less than posture, which also includes, my friends, charging less than the value or less than what your ideal client actually wants to invest in. See, so frequently we'll tamp down the number. Instead of 10,000, we'll be like it's 8,000. Instead of 50,000, it's 20,000. We'll tamp down the number out of our own concern for ourselves. We say, here's the failure part of it. We say we want to help people. And yet, we don't step fully into owning our own wisdom, our own knowledge. So we actually fail our clients because we're not charging enough. Number three is, how do you even identify what wealth means? So owning your wisdom creates wealth. So part of the wisdom here, my friends, is not just your years of education and all of the initials. Like, part of your wisdom is your intuitive knowledge, your intuitive wisdom. How many times are you letting that beautiful, amazing ability that you have to embrace your intuitive guidance, your intuitive wisdom to create maybe other types of wealth? So, wealth we can look at as far as money, we can look at wealth as far as time, we can look at wealth as far as freedom from the emotional nagging and grating and clawing that frequently women have. And I don't want to be like all women. I'm not saying that. It's not a black and white thing. It's not all or nothing. But frequently what I have found is even the most highly educated and the most like high income earners still don't have the wealth of emotional freedom. So my brand, Bold Life and Biz, is really about, and when I teach high level mindset in the regret proof life, we really look at wealth from the perspective of financial, time, and emotional freedom. Think about the wealth of emotional, like emotionally wealthy. That means you embrace your knowledge, you embrace your wisdom, and you can honor and trust yourself, your intuitive abilities. You're knowing that you know that you know, and you eliminate your worries about judgment of other people. See, when you own your wisdom, that emotional wealth comes when you can release the worries about what other people are saying. It doesn't even matter about what they're saying. It becomes so irrelevant because you recognize that they are reacting to whatever you're doing in the world, showing up out of their own stuff. They need to own their side of the street and you need to own your side of the street. That emotional wealth is so invaluable. And until you have that, it really becomes nearly impossible. It's the truth. I'm going to tell you, like, here is the bold truth moment. Until you acknowledge your wisdom and your wisdom in that intuitive ability to know that you know that you know, until you allow for emotional wealth, you will be highly challenged to have financial wealth, time wealth. They're not congruent. They're not congruent. So not only do we poo-poo ourselves and number one, right, which was poo-pooing our like our actual like knowledge base. And when we don't own it and we fail our clients because we're like, we're undermining ourselves. But if you don't have emotional wealth, you're not owning who you are in the world and showing up that way. Why would you ever think that it would be possible for you to have the financial wealth that you say that you want? Again, it's incongruent. People who have a lot of money, like those of us who have financial success, the amount of work, oh my God, the amount of work that we do with our thinking, with our being centered, with our trusting ourselves, with our vibration in the world, with our energy in the world, with our back straight, with us showing up, with us owning and claiming and saying, hell yes, that I know what I'm talking about. That's daily work. It's vigilance. It's rewiring our old belief systems. It's working on our subconscious. That all has to happen. I have to be emotionally wealthy to even own my wisdom. And with that, then comes my success and your success. But the first piece of the puzzle, and I do talk about this in my program, and I talk about it from the biz trifecta, mindset, plan, and systems. If until we have that emotional wealth, or until we have our head on straight, you will never follow through on the things that you say that you want because you're going to be rehearsing all the old stuff. So today, here's how I want to leave you today. Hi, Carla. Let me see who's here. If you're here, say hello. Oh, Olga, how are you? Glad to see you. Alexandra, so true. Women often seeming like they apologize for their knowledge. Why do you think they do that? Why do you think that they do that? What is the reason that they do that? And how like, in the regret proof life, I'm very big on pushing all of your buttons around the idea that you're going to be dead for fucking ever. And I know it's a slap in the face. I know, but that's my job. I want to wake you up to your possibilities, and owning your wisdom and trusting your intuition and recognizing that your emotional wealth is going to lead to all the other things. And you got to do it now. Now is the time. Now is the time to master stepping into the work that has to happen around changing your belief systems, changing your thinking. Be focused on the emotion that you want that's in the future. So many people keep looking behind them. Now, as a behaviorist, I understand patterns, and of course, patterns and behavioral patterns are relevant to a point. Well, the point is that we acknowledge, oh, look what I used to do, or oh, look what I did. And that thing that I did isn't getting me where I want to go. So today, here's your bold action step, so that you're creating your own bold life and biz. Number one is, where are you failing to acknowledge your massive amount of, or your amassed knowledge? Where are you failing to recognize that? So first start with, sometimes it's easy to start with all those initials, right? Some of you have ridiculous amounts of credentials. Then the next is, where are you not recognizing your true intuition? Alexandra says, you needed this pep talk today. This is why the Bold Life and Biz plan is great. Well, she's in one of my programs. Thank you, Alexandra. Where we really talk about this, and we talk about how the biz trifecta, mindset, plan, and systems, like all the things that create your business. But it always starts with this piece of it. So one, how are you failing to recognize your wealth of credentials? Let's just start with the easy stuff, the letters behind your name. Number two, your years of experience. And I don't mean applying those initials. I just mean your years of experience being a person, a woman who's walked this face of this earth. Are you giving credence to? Are you owning your experiences that have taught you valuable lessons that truly could lead to a profitable business? And number three, are you owning your intuition? Where, my friend, today I want to ask you, where have you disconnected from the knowing that you know that you know? And that is ownership. When you own that you know, that's the emotional wealth piece that we're talking about. So once you do that, and I know I'm giving you a lot, and it's okay, then I want you to think about, if you haven't done this work, the number one bold action step I just gave you, how is this impacting then your other wealth? We talked about emotional, financial, and time wealth. How is that impacting your financial wealth? How is that impacting you charging more money? Because you recognize your credentials, your experience, your intuition, your knowledge base, like all the things that make you you, is so valuable that you are minimizing it and therefore not charging enough for it. And so then the kind of client that you say that you want, and you come in with some lowball offer, they're like, oh, that shit must not be very good, even though it's brilliant, because you've allowed yourself to charge less, to make less. Make sense? Who's getting that? I know it's a mind twister. I know it's so much of a mind twister. Those are your two bold action steps today. And these two things, go back and listen to this. These two things will change literally your life if you allow it. My job is to help you own your wisdom and help you create wealth. So go out today and make it a big, bold life and biz, and trust that you have the answer. Sit down, do this work, own your wisdom, claim your wealth, step into that. That's what leaders do. That's what we do. We look at things. I can hear like, sorry, there's so much going on. There's a motorcycle here. Somebody just came in the house, in case you heard background noise. And recognize that you are in charge. Here's one little side note. Okay, here we go. I just can't help with this. In this moment, you're here watching me. So therefore, you are creating your life. I want to ask you the question from this related to owning your wisdom. If you recognize that you made a choice to watch this or watch the replay and hashtag replay and what are your ahas, if you recognize that you are in charge of this decision to watch it, why don't you use that same decisive process to own your own wisdom? Have you ever made those connections? That if you're able to watch this right now, you've made the decision to do that, which means that you're in charge. So guess what? You get to be in charge of owning your wisdom, making the changes in your life. You're in charge and you have the choice to create what you want. You have the choice for wealth. You have the choice for wealth. Say it with me right now. I choose wealth. Say it again. I choose wealth. Say it again. I choose emotional wealth. Say it again. I choose emotional wealth. Say it again. I choose emotional wealth. And from that, I will have time and financial wealth. Say it with me. I choose emotional wealth. And from that, I will have time and financial wealth. Watch this again. Do the exercises and share with me how much this impacts you, because I know it does. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.